Let me begin with a confession. I don't know if you have ever felt this, but there are days when I wake up and think, at some point today, someone is going to realize that I have no idea what I'm doing. Not spiritually, not emotionally, not professionally, just life. Just life. Psychologists have a name for that feeling. They call it imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. So, imposter syndrome is that quiet, nagging inner voice that whispers or sometimes shouts, "You don't really belong here. You are just faking it. Everyone else seems confident and you are barely holding it together." Or sooner or later, they will find you out. And here is what I want you to catch early on. In today's gospel, Jesus is experiencing something every single one of us experiences at some point in life. You know, that feeling of, do I really belong here? Now, don't misunderstand me. Jesus isn't doubting God, but he is stepping into a moment of enormous transition, a public moment, a vulnerable moment, a moment where everything is about to change. And that voice, that imposter voice, it's loud, it's persistent. That voice has a PhD, has a PhD in making us question, question ourselves. Let me tell you what that voice sounds like in real life. Say, for example, you are in a meeting at work and you think, everyone else seems to know what they're talking about. And I'm just nodding along, hoping no one asks me a direct question. Or you are at a parent teacher conference and you think, all these other parents seem to have it together. Meanwhile, my kid had Cheetos for breakfast. Or you are in a relationship and you think, well, they are going to wake up one day and realize they could do so much better than me. Or you're even in a church and you think everyone else here is so holy, and I am just trying not to fall asleep during the homily. It's okay. Well, some of you are watching this with coffee in hand, hoping I finish before the mug does. That voice always says the same thing. You don't belong here. You are not qualified. You are going to get found out. Now, here is the stunning thing about today's gospel. Jesus hasn't preached a single sermon yet. No miracles, no healings, no disciples, no resume. And yet, he steps into the Jordan and stands in line with everyone else. You know, the ordinary people, broken people, sinners, people still figuring their lives out. And right there, before Jesus proves anything, before he performs anything, before he accomplishes anything, heaven opens. Heaven opens. This is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. Now, notice what God doesn't say. God doesn't say, "This is my son, let's see how he does." Or, "This is my son, assuming he doesn't mess it up." "This is my son, pending future performance." No, God names Jesus before the mission. God blesses Jesus before the work. God delights in Jesus before the cross. My friends, this is the divine antidote to imposter syndrome. Because imposter syndrome says you are what you achieve and produce. But baptism says you are who you are because you are loved. Imposter syndrome tells us that we belong conditionally. And God tells us that we belong essentially. We belong essentially. And now, here is what I need you to hear today. Really hear it. My friend, you are not an imposter in your own life. You are not imposter as a parent, even when you have no idea what you're doing. You are not an imposter in your career, even when you feel underqualified. You are not an imposter in your relationships, even when you feel unworthy of love. You are not an imposter in your faith, even when you doubt, even when you question, even when it feels like everyone else has it figured out except you. You belong here, in this life, in this moment, in your own skin, not because you have proven yourself, not because you have earned it, not because you have achieved enough or succeeded enough or fixed yourself enough, but because God says so. God says so. And my friends, here is the final and beautiful truth. The voice from heaven is still speaking. It spoke at the Jordan River 2,000 years ago, and it is speaking right now, today, to you. You are my beloved child with whom I am well pleased. Not will be pleased once you get your act together. Not might be pleased if you try hard enough. I am pleased. Present tense. Right now, as you are. That is your identity. That is who you really are. So now, go live like someone who actually believes it. And when that imposter voice shows up again, because it will, remember, remember the Jordan River. Remember the heavens opening. And remember the Father's voice. And remember this: God doesn't do imposter syndrome. God does identity. God does identity. Amen. God bless you all.